Hello, Jennifer Tochi here, and I have just spent the morning sending messages on my phone, pretending to be asleep, while my son is lurched out of my house on the way to the farmer's market in search of melons. I forget what kind of melons they're called. But for some reason, he has become addicted to these melons, and so he didn't even come in to use the bathroom. So that makes me wonder. But let's not go too deeply into that. I kind of had a bad night, yes. Not a bad night, a overpowering night, let's just say. Yes, I ended up turning my phone off last night. It was just too many people were trying to contact me. I just watched from my son on the phone and because some nights you got to do that. And I started out the day with a weird movie, you know, Eight-Legged Freaks. I reviewed Eight-Legged Freaks, and get away. Sorry, I have a box there for a little garbage that I need to. I'm throwing away the box and the paper in it. Wait. Yes. And oh, and my hair has finally found its way back into banana clips, so I'm happy now. Okay. So I decided to start out the day with a weird movie. Yes. It says it's a comedy, but I find it more of an interesting case study. Interesting case study, yes. It stars Crispin Glover, David Paymer, Glenn Hadley, and Joe Piscopo. Yes. Who else do we got here? Maury Chaikin and Seymour Castle. I love the name Seymour. Seymour what? Okay. And it is Bartleby. Yes, this is another remake from the, Crispin Glover also remade Willard, which I actually like better than the original Willard, because Crispin Glover has that weird vibe. He has that spooky vibe about him that just can grab onto me and not let go when I start watching a movie. And he had it in here too. Yes. And when the newly appointed manager of public records firm, David Paymer, decides his staff of 3 could use some help, he hires Bartleby, the one and only candidate who applies for the job. At first, Bartleby is a model of efficiency, but before long, the eccentric employee starts refusing to do what he is told. Bartleby inspires complete utter chaos within the workplace. Yes. Based on Herman Melville's classic short story, Bartleby the Skeever, which was based in the 1800s. Yes. And this movie was made based on the 1800. Yes. This is PG-13 movie for some sexual content. Okay. Again, they make a mistake. David Paymer makes a mistake. He lets his secretary, put the ad in the paper and writes, he tells her to put down that it's a vibrant workplace, which it's not. It's just they send papers there and you're to book them. You're there to separate them um and put them under paperwork, organize them basically and keep them, which doesn't sound like a fun job. Sorry, I've been painting. Yes. And she calls it a vibrating, instead, she calls it a vibrating workplace. Okay. So we've got Bartleby showing up. Yes. And so at first he's doing great. He's doing great. He then looks up and sees an air conditioning vent above him, and not very clean one either. That's blowing out air. Yes. You can see that he has ADHD and OCD. Hell, I have it too. If you counted my stickers, you'd see I put them on there by 9. Everything has to equal 9 in my life. Because when I was an important part of my schooling for some reason was learning the times 9 system. So now everything has to equals 9 in my life. Yes. Another part of this movie that gets stuck in my brain is that at the back of the place is a wallpaper mural with a forest background with a buck and 2 does, and it's the exact same one that my mother had in the back of the dining room where she slept in a tent and a mattress on the floor. She didn't want to be in a house. She wanted to be in the forest, She didn't want to be in a bed. So I feel close to Bartleby, yes. Because of this. I'm wearing leg warmers right now. They don't match. My socks can't match because of Peter Tork, who never wore matching socks, and I hold him in such an inspiring way. This is Jennifer Tochi's head. So this is probably this guy's head too. ADHD, OCD people think like this at all times of day, going crazy. And this is probably him, yes. And so he starts saying, I prefer not to, when asked to do things. When he's told to do things, he says, I prefer not to, and looking scared. Yeah. So he's not cashing his checks. His checks. The boss is trying anything to get him to work. This guy wants to beat him up. At first, she's making passes at him, and that's freaking him out more. Especially when she makes cookies called chocolate nipples, which oddly enough I want to try to make because I baked cookies. And damn, those looked realistic, and I saw that I could do them. Yes, and he wants to beat the hell out of him. This guy on the back, he wants to make friends with him. He would prefer, he says to Bartleby, I would prefer to take you out for a drink after work. And he says, I would prefer not to. So this movie interested me. It was like a case study in Bartleby and myself. So it got high marks in mine. Crispin Glover was amazing in it. Working hard or hardly working, yes. I have to clean in nines, you know. I went through a phase when I did my videos. Everything on the shelf had to equal 9, but then I had to like hit myself and say, Jennifer, organize your freaking movies. Okay. Yes. So that's when I got out and got my bookcases. So I'm going to give this movie a 9. Yes. It is a independent movie. It is. Screenplay was by Jonathan Parker and Catherine de Napoli. Yes, produced and directed by Jonathan Parker. I mean, yeah, I give it a 9, man. Anything who can get me, any movie who can get me out of my own head and make me see, yes, can get me to see how foolish I look to the outer world. Excites me. What can I say? Yes. Ooh, so now you know a little more about the Tochi mind. God help you. Farewell.